Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. The day has come for me to finally do the summoning, which, as of the time of making this video, is definitely their most popular song. Definitely been popularized by other reactors out there who kind of latched on to this song as an introduction to Sleep Token for a lot of people. I would bet that a lot of you, even if you're not Sleep Token fans, have heard this song, especially if you're in the metal community at all. You'd almost have to be living under a rock not to have at least heard of this song, even if you haven't listened to it. It was a huge breakout for them in the story of Sleep Token as a band, not the lore, but for the band themselves. I remember in March when this dropped, watching their monthly listener count on Spotify go from a few 100,000 to a number in the millions. It's a blow up unlike anything I've ever seen before. And obviously, I think that it is very well warranted. But what are my thoughts on this song? Let's find out. Do I think it's overhyped? Do I think it's as good as everyone says it is? I definitely have a lot to say about it, regardless of my thoughts on it personally. But um, let's go ahead and just hop into it. Screen here is worthy of that. So immediately right off the bat, this is very different than I think most Sleep Token songs is, as it is very in your face immediately right out the gate. Um, this song is very kind of off kilter with the guitar work. I really like it. Things don't quite land where you expect them to. It's very syncopated. Um, However, the vocal line locks us into what the time signature should be. Right, we can kind of follow that along, even though the guitars are all over the place. It's a really cool sound for Sleep Token. They still got the piano in the background. Wouldn't be Sleep Token without it. So I want to talk a little bit about that chorus and how it just leads in. So the chorus is kind of cool because we go from like a syncopated feel to like a straight on feel, like back and forth. It's really cool to kind of feel off kilter and then locked in back and forth. And obviously, Vessel's vocals are as like angelic as ever. With his kind of, I don't know if it's falsetto for him. It sounds like falsetto to me. But he's definitely in his head voice at least, kind of hitting these high notes. I think it sounds great. So I'm going to back up a little bit because I know we're about to get into something here. Damn. So I can't not talk about that. So what's really cool and what kind of pisses me off about this a little bit as someone who tries to write music themselves is how simple that like chug riff is, but how effective it is. I mean, there's nothing crazy going on there, technical. It's a little bit fast at times, I guess, with the picking, to like a casual ear. But like, there's nothing crazy going on there. But it's just so effective, and that scream. Now there is a scream in there. Like the thing about Vessel screams on this track are, they're very. I don't know if compressed is the right word. Um, I think it is compressed, where it just kind of sounds like there's almost a filter over it. I don't think that's a bad thing, by the way. I'm not going to hate on him for that. I think it sounds cool, but there is a moment in that first scream. It sounds like there's like a whistle going on over top. Like he's screaming so hard, there's like a whistle tone. I've heard some bands do that. I just did not expect that at all from them. So let me see if I can catch that. Yeah, it's gonna be right there. See if you can hear it. It started right there. What is that? Man. Yeah, yeah. The off-kilter part I'm talking about, like this. And then he goes like into a straight beat. It's cool, so cool. Oh man. Man, I hate to keep stopping, but there's so much to talk about here. So after that heavy part at the end of the first, or after the first chorus, it sounds like we're about to go into something even heavier, and everything drops out, and it's this tasteful, jazzy guitar solo over like a piano background. And I gotta tell you, that was the first time I was faked out by this song. I was like, okay. Like, we don't get guitar solos from Sleep Token. Like, I think the only other one has been Telomeres, that I can think of. And it's really tasty as a guitar solo. And there's something going on with the time signature as well, I should say, because that's what's making it kind of jazzy. Things don't quite land where you kind of expect them to. There's like an extra beat or two. I think it sounds really cool. Then, of course, we get into the chorus again, as big as it was the first time, but now it goes a little bit longer. And the part that I really like is when the piano comes in the background. Like, we get these big piano chords over top of the like distorted guitar. Man, it's a cool sound. It's pretty epic. This is an epic track, I would say. So I'll back up a little bit. Let's have some chaos. I love the guitar, like, wheedly wheedlies too. It's just, you gotta love it. You gotta love it. Amazing synth sound here. Vessel's kind of just wailing in the background. So he definitely entered this like ominous kind of break in the song here. I really like this part of the music video where all these like lasers start taking aim. It's kind of wild to look at. I don't know. It's very much like something's about to go down, right? That's the feeling I get. So to talk about musically what's going on here, I think a lot of people that I've talked to who are not super into Sleep Token, this is kind of the part of Sleep Token they don't like. They would say this part here is boring. I disagree heavily, but I think what's going on here is really cool. The synth sound. It sounds a lot like if you've ever listened to Dream Theater. It's very Dream Theater kind of break in the middle of a song. If you've ever listened to the song Octavarium, it has a break where Jordan Rudess, their keyboardist, does some like big sliding like melody stuff. That's what this reminds me of. Really cool. And obviously it's about to pick up a little bit. And people I think kind of get bored by this because they don't hear the same things that I hear going on. Like this chord progression is very ominous. It goes places you don't necessarily expect. And then we're about to build to get some piano stuff over top, which I think is cool. It's almost like a piano solo, the way that it's set up. Got this like driving like synth thing in the background. It's like we're picking up steam. So, yeah, we all know that this part's coming, so I was just jamming along to it. But the first time I listened to the song, I'll tell you, I thought we were about to get the most world-ending breakdown I'd ever heard. After that long middle section, it's going on for like 2 minutes or something like that, I was so sure the heaviest guitar work I've ever heard was about to come in. But imagine my surprise whenever it is this funk song. And it has Vessel singing in a way that I don't think we've really heard before this. It's like most people say, it's kind of sexy, right? The way he's delivering this, very bluesy, funky. And the thing that really sticks out to me about this song is it's fun at this moment, which is something that I do not associate with Sleep Token tonally, right? Usually it's kind of like dreary or just like heartbreaking, but fun is something that I think we're getting a little bit more of on this record, and I'm here for it. But yeah, he comes into this like jazz funk part of the song, and yeah, it threw everyone for a loop. But it's really cool. It's a really cool part of the song. So we're recycling lyrics from the start of the song. one really cool thing about what they do at the end here is when vocal first comes into this funk section, he sings like a melody, um, and then when the second half of the funk section, that so I guess there's an argument about this. Some people say that's a saxophone. It sounds like a saxophone, but I'm thinking it also could be just like a distorted guitar, like a funk, like with some kind of like crunch or like funk setting on it. I don't really know, but either way, it's playing Vessel's vocal melody while he sings the rehashed lyrics from the start of the song. So once again, they're using these elements from the song, even though it sounds like a new song at the end. We're getting a callback to the start of the song, so it's not this completely disconnected thing. I think that's one of the cool things that makes this not sound like a disjointed mess, right? That we're getting little threads to connect everything. The only thing that is really way out there to me is the middle section, the bridge, ambient synth stuff, right? Although I think that's really cool. I see how that kind of kills the momentum for some people. But I'm down with that kind of thing. You know, I'll listen to Dream Theater any day. If it's a 20-minute song, I'm on board. So obviously this was a little bit longer of a song. What I didn't talk about so much was the figure here, which once again looks amazing. Whoever's doing these, props to you. Good job. This looks like a Bloodborne character. So already I'm into it. I love Bloodborne. The kind of like gothics. It's almost like a punk aesthetic, right? With the gun, but it's like a knight, you know, that kind of thing. All right, so what's going on in this song? The song is called "The Summoning." So I once again get this idea of rising, right? Just like the last video, except we get it a little bit more specifically in the lyrics here, right? So we've got I've got a river running right into you. I've got a blood trail red in the blue. Something you say or something you do, the taste of the divine. So we hear this over and over. River running right into you, blood trail red in the blue. And I think this could mean a couple things, right? So I like to think he's just come out of the ocean, right? So this blue in the river could be him just like drying off, right? The water's running off of him as he's emerging. The thing I don't know is the blood trail his blood? Is it someone else's blood? Right? It's very ominous. And we get, you've got my body, flesh and bone, the sky above, the earth below. So he's out of the water. He's still trying to ascend, it looks like, right? He's not in the sky yet. And we get what I think is a very poignant part of the song. This, raise me up again, take me past the edge. I want to see the other side. And if I'm looking at this song from the vantage point of this is Vessel now fighting back against sleep, right? He's done with this whole letting her, you know, just take all of him, and he's starting to fight back. I think wanting to see the other side is him wanting to break into his waking life again, right? He wants to separate from sleep. He wants to live his life awake in the daytime, that kind of thing. That's how I interpret this. More specifically, I think that what we're seeing here in the second half of the song, once we get to the funk section, I think this is kind of the idea of Vessel seeing sleep, you know, this, my theory, this person that he lost, that he only sees at night in his dreams, right? He's seeing her in a new light. It's not always this dark, heavy stuff anymore. Now it's kind of this light, funky thing to try to change our perception and to show that his perception has changed. Because here he says, my love, did I mistake you for a sign from God? Are you really here to cut me off, or maybe just to turn me on? And he kind of, you know, opines over the fact that he still wants to be with her. But the lyrics are very slightly different than they have been in the past. He says, I'd be lying if I told you that I didn't wish that I could be your man. Which makes me think that he knows that this is over, right? And in reference to kind of the blood trail, the red and the blue, I'm wondering if this is him. Sorry, if this is him kind of officially cutting it off, right? He's ready to go to war with her. Maybe he's already attacked her. Maybe that's what the blood trail is. And this is essentially kind of a goodbye from him to some degree. However, he's still a little bit, I guess, infatuated and drawn in by her because you can still kind of see that in the lyrics. This little bit of longing. It's almost playful, right? So what I wanted to look at is a better picture of our figurine, our dude, as I like to call him for this song. Every song has one. Because there's some interesting things that I didn't know what I was looking at in the music video. It was a little dark. So once again, very Bloodborne aesthetic here. This is very clearly a warrior with a giant gun. But there, more so than the gun, there's a few things here that I think are significant. The first thing I see is this sensor here. I assume that's what it is. It might be a lantern, but I think it is a sensor. And if you don't know what a sensor is, looks like this. So maybe you see the resemblance. And typically when you're burning incense, there's a religious connotation to it. I know that there are people who probably just burn incense because they like the smell or whatever, but usually when you're burning incense, it is some religious ritual that's going on. Specifically here, I see that I'm assuming this is for Catholics because it says for Mass, right? It signifies the link between heaven and earth, which is interesting because we actually get that in the lyrics. Sky above, earth below, taste of the divine, that kind of thing. So I think that's really interesting, just lyrically kind of drawing that connection. And I saw something else. I couldn't make it out in the music video, which is why I looked for this image. There was something hanging off the gun. And if we look at it, it's a pair of dentures. Super weird if you don't know anything about Sleep Token, but actually this kind of makes sense to me because I think what this song, kind of the arc of this song, is Vessel is basically pulling the teeth out of Sleep. It can no longer hurt him the same way anymore, and he's going to fight back. So that's what I think that these dentures are representing. Like he's made Sleep toothless. He's kind of taken a little bit of control over the situation. Those are my feelings on it. Obviously, there is probably more you could get into with this dude here, but those are the two parts that I really just focused on. Once again, the artwork is amazing on this album. I really love it. Even the album artwork. I guess I can look and see if I can find it. Yeah, the album artwork is crazy cool as well. It reminds me of Bloodborne too, with this like the tentacles. It's like this like Lovecraftian monster like coming out of the moon. Really cool. So that's what I had to say about summoning. I wanted to go a little bit deeper into it just because I know it's been done to death on YouTube at this point. Probably everyone and their mother has heard the song, but I wanted to try to give my idea of what's going on in the Sleep Token lore with this song. Once again, it's early days for this. I'll have to listen to them a lot more to see if I am correct on my theories here. But I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope to see you on the next one where I'll go over the next song, which is Granite.